Hello, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to give an update in regards to the activities I'll be implementing this week for the website, in addition to kind of a journey update. For those of you who don't know, I'm a military spouse. My husband is stationed here in the greater St. Louis area, and I'm really nerdy about business. It's what I love to geek out on, and so that takes a lot of shapes. And so it started out at the beginning of our relationship with me being a private business coach and continually building a new practice. Every time we moved, we would come into a cold market, and I'd begin the process of going to all the networking events and joining the local chamber of commerce, and then kind of diving into the business community locally. And, then we'd get orders to go to the next spot. And then, as all of you know from the great timeout, 2020 happened, and that kind of changed everything about business. And so as we've moved forward, I privately was struggling to decide whether or not I had it in me to build yet another um, coaching practice in a cold market, particularly in a post-COVID environment. And, what was that going to look like? And I just, that requires a lot of energy. And I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying that, it takes a very specific personality to do that consistently, repetitively over an extended period of time. Generally speaking, it's hard enough to build in the cold market, much less having to reestablish yourself every 3 years. So I've done that, and I've kind of worn that hat for a really long time, and beginning to pivot into, okay, I really want to be focused on projects. And I really want to be focused on building high performance teams. And this is really where I love to spend my time, is cultivating these relationships among small groups of people. And so then that's how I landed in the Scrum Master world. It turned out I had been using all of these skill sets in the coaching world. We just use different terminology about it. And so for those of you who are thinking potentially about getting into coaching or business coaching or personal development coaching, just know that if you happen to already have a background in Scrum or Agile, many of these frameworks and philosophies will translate over very nicely. It'll be very organic for you. But now here I am. I had just completed 2 years as a Scrum Master, as a contractor for one of the global financial services institutions that are out there in the world. And um, now I'm stuck. It's 2024, and the market is saturated with people who have skill sets that are on the level with mine. And how do I differentiate myself in a noisy marketplace? Well, conveniently, I happen to have a background in how to build from scratch, and how to differentiate in a crowded marketplace, and how to dive in and build a rapport with individuals, and build relationships that matter. Like, this is my bag. This is what I do for a living. So in a lot of ways, this is sort of me going back to my roots about things that I already know how to do and do well, and then translating them over in a very transparent way so that others can duplicate this experience for themselves. Um, some of this information is probably going to be too nerdy and overkill, right? A lot of you might not have an interest in business entrepreneurship. However, I do encourage you to think like an entrepreneur. And there's a lot of good reasons why. Entrepreneurs tend to be very resilient. They tend to have a very high frustration tolerance. This translates over into sticking longer with tasks in order to become excellent at them. It is ultimately why a lot of technicians who are really good in their roles and functions at a lower level end up branching out on their own and starting their own organizations. It's because they're excellent technicians. All this to say, I have all this knowledge about how to do these things, and I really have a desire to give back and teach what I know to others. I've always had a desire to write a book, and it's been on my bucket list for ages. But I do have to tell you that I'm a millennial, and having grown up at the very nascent beginnings of the internet, it feels more natural to me to begin to do blog posts and videos, and just kind of diving into teaching material. So I see myself doing a lot more of that, despite my reluctance and all of the kicking and screaming that I've done to get to this point. So why fight what nature is? Let's just dive into it, and kind of navigate the process as we go. So that's some backstory about me and how I got here. Um, that gives you kind of the rough shape of my experience. Late last week, I got a phone call. I am currently partnered with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce's Hiring Our Heroes program, and it looks like I will be accepted into a fellowship program here coming up in the first quarter of January. Where this goes. The original goal of this platform was twofold. It was to not only attract my Scrum teams to me for my future projects that I want to work on, but in addition to that, it's building out the project management community spot, right? This is different from PMI, who has a structured program and it's tailored to PMI gear, right? Like that framework and ecosystem is there for a reason. Absolutely 100% take advantage of it as a wonderful resource. But this is more for the by a project manager for a project manager to tailor this to change makers, decision makers, people responsible for changing the outcomes or trajectories of the way organizations navigate the marketplace. Okay. I believe that mature leadership is necessary. I believe that an informed public improves the marketplace for everybody. And so if I can teach these skills without gatekeeping the information, then suddenly everybody, all boats must rise, right? Like if all the water is getting poured in, right, eventually we're just going to raise the caliber of business everywhere. So this is what ultimately what I hope to bring to the world. And by doing so, this allows me to do the teaching component, which I really love. In addition to talking about a subject, I'm endlessly curious about this topic. I think about this all the time. I have been studying various components of project management for over a decade, purely from the peripheral sides of things. I'm a first generation college graduate. I will not inherit a trust fund. I am only going to be able to build my future from the ground up, right? I'm going to build it with my own two hands. Your future chief fund officer for your organization, if you happen to need a person who needs to fill that role, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. But in the short term, I'm here to love on you. I think that we need more love in the world. And I think that it's not enough to empower people to get to the table if they don't know what to do once they get there. And so the need that I'm going to fill in the marketplace is providing this content that helps you know what to do when you get to the table, right? To know what to do when you're faced with a problematic situation or a challenging circumstance that you may find yourself in, perhaps a challenging personality that you may need to figure out how to navigate effectively. Hopefully, we'll have tips and tricks and solutions along the way. My greatest hope is that at the end of this, I will have a community of people sharing their love and support for the people in the world who are making the world go round. And I just really see this being like we're all like disciples of Brene Brown and her courageous work. So anyway, just wanted to come in here. Here's the update. So all that, got the philosophy, got where we came from, got where we're going, like what we hope to bring to the table. And then here's where this goes. So in the short term of all of these experiences of this process, this week I'm diving into market research explicitly because I'm attempting to build what the avatar is for my target market for the Executive Scrum Master website and platform. And by doing that, I'm hoping to tailor my content to that individual, that persona, that particular viewpoint. And I'll walk you through all of that. If you're interested in that, watch the videos to come. Take care out there. Enjoy your day.